right, folks, we've reached the last of the orientation videos. How do you get a grade in the class? So let's go over the different assignments and points. So you have 15 multiple choice quizzes, each going over a particular chapter. They are timed, 40-minute time limit, and usually there are 15 multiple choice questions, although occasionally I do a true-false. Then you have 2 essay exams. They are a combination of short and long essays, and they are worth 60 points each. The first one goes over Unit 1 and 2, and the second one goes over Unit 3 and 4. No comprehensive final exam for this course. The essay exams are open book, open note. However, you are not allowed to use any outside material. So no other websites, even if you cite them, are allowed in the essay exams. You might want to keep this in mind because a lot of the discussion questions are similar to things that are found on those essay exams. And so if you rely heavily on outside sources in the discussion boards, that means you can't use that material when you get to the essay exam. So kind of a heads up, my recommendation is to focus mostly on the course material as your primary source of information while you're doing the weekly homework. That way you can use that same information when you help you build your essay exam answers in the 2 large essay exams. Okay, and then required discussion board points, 225. We'll go over this in a little bit more detail for a total of 570 points. I usually do offer as well extra credit, and those will be in the form of either assignments or you can do some extra discussions. I'll explain that again in a minute. So let's go down here. By the way, standard grading scale, and I do round up. So if you have like an 89.5, I round you up to a 90% and an A. So you've got the quizzes, essay exams. The online discussion board points are worth 15 points. They're generally open for 2 weeks, although this is a 4-week course, and in the last week, all of your posts and replies will be due at the end of the week. You won't have a second week for that last week's homework, so kind of keep that in mind. And so you week 1, you're doing the first 4 discussions, and then in week 2, you'll be working on another set of discussions plus your replies to week 1, right? And again, follow a pretty standard. Everything is due on the discussion boards on Sundays. And actually there was a little typo there too. I also extended that until Sunday for week 4 as well. I used to have it Saturday, but I gave you all the way through until Sunday. Okay, so in order to receive max credits, you have to do both the post, which is worth 9 points, and the 2 reply posts, which are worth 3 points each, total of 6, total of 15 altogether. And I do have some requirements for both the post and the replies. Number 1, you have to answer the questions fully. For the post, a minimum of 500 words. That's for the whole post. Probably going to go over that for a lot of these discussion board questions, however. You do also need to cite the sources. So the textbook's author, Janda, E-T-A-L, that means all the rest of the authors, page 22, or Gardner Lecture 1, or supplemental reading, whatever the title of it is. You have to cite, you have to tell me where you get your information, and that includes when you're summarizing in your own words or when you're directly quoting from the course material. Either way, cite, cite, cite. It tells me where you're getting your information. It also helps your fellow peers know where you're getting your information so they can look it up for themselves. And it also avoids plagiarism, all right? So there are a total of 255 points worth of discussions, but you only need 225, right? So that means there's 30 points, flex points. Each discussion is worth 15 points, except for week 8. That one's worth 30. So you can either skip week 8 altogether, 30 points skipped, or you can skip another 2 discussions of your choosing. And with the way that it works is I just mark them excused. You don't have to ask me ahead of time. You can choose any 2 that you want, or just week 8, not week 8, excuse me, discussion 8. and I mark them excused and they don't count against you. Now, if you don't skip any of the discussions, you don't skip any of them, you do all 255 points, I still mark 2 of them excused, so that we keep the same point total, which is 225. But those 2 that I mark excused that you did, in addition to the required ones, I move those points over to the extra credit column. So that's one way of getting extra credit in the semester. There will be other options. There will be some other extra credit opportunities, just in case you don't want to go that route. But just kind of keep that in mind. If you want to skip 2 discussions, you can. If you don't, you can do them as extra credit for a max of 20 points worth of extra credit. And by the way, in the background, do you hear those dogs running around? I got 4 of them. They're crazy, man. Okay. In terms of your discussion board points, post, make sure you answer the questions completely. You must include relevant examples and details from the course material. You have to cite your sources. Make sure that you note that you are preparing for those essay exams, so it's best to stick to the course material. Answer lengths will vary, but minimum is 200. So your reply posts. You are not... this is not a peer review. This is not a I agree or disagree with you. This is an opportunity to discuss the course material with your peers. So it's not an English class. We're not peer reviewing people's work. We're discussing key concepts, key ideas, bringing in additional material. We're having, hopefully, an ongoing discussion about what it is we're learning. You have to do a minimum of 2, and they need to be a minimum of 200 words each. So that's a total of 400 words between the 2 reply posts. Okay. Also, be careful that you're not overly critical on or focusing on your ability of your fellow peers to write or be grammatically correct. That's not your job. And make sure that you adhere to the rules on etiquette that are outlined earlier in the syllabus. If you have any additional questions, don't dig in the carpet like my dogs searching, but instead call me, email me, text me. So many ways to get a hold of me. All right, folks. So that is it for the orientation for the syllabus. You're going to be doing an introduction board post that keeps you in the course. That lets me know that you're actively participating. And then after that, you're going to get busy with week 1 material, which will be posted by Monday at noon, if not sooner. All right.